Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Carafano. I'm managing editor at NAILPRO, and we're here today with Kimmie Kyees. She did our November 2014 cover. We're really excited to have her here. Thanks so much for coming, Kimmie.
Thanks for having me.
Today we needed a little bit of length on the model's nails. How did you achieve that?
I use these pre-glued press-on tips. They're super quick. They fit the nail really nice. They're thin, so they look natural, and it makes it a very quick, simple way to get you length fast.
And how did you decide what shape to make the nails?
We discussed the fact that the crescent moon has a very oval or a very rounded shape, and we thought that by making a swivel end, it would give it kind of an interesting look to balance out that rounded edge.
So after you had the press-on nails secured, you had the shape correct, how did you go about choosing your colors?
Because it's fall, we went with golds and browns because they feel very rustic, very outdoorsy, very, the colors changing in the leaves, things like that. So I felt those colors would represent that season really well.
And tell me how you went about making the crescent moon shape. I know you have a special layering technique that you can share with us.
What's great about doing two-tone nails and using the lighter or the metallic color as the cuticle color, you can paint the whole nail gold to start with, and then you can just by using the normal nail polish brush create that cuticle line a couple millimeters up from the edge of the nail, leaving that gold space.
And then after you painted the nails, you decided to make one accent nail. Let's talk a little bit about how you decided which accents to use.
Because we were using the gold in the crescent moon, I thought it would look nice to use a shiny gold element in the accent nail.
And you went with a couple of different things. You used little squares and also crystals, correct?
Yes.
How did you decide to put those together?
Because the gold accent pieces were square, if you turn them kind of sideways, you get a more diamond look. So on one nail, I laid them in a diamond shape, and on the other nail, I laid them more squarish.
Also, you had a great tip when we were talking about finishing off the nails. You used a top coat, but you said that it's important to work around crystals in a certain way. Can you share that with our readers?
When I use crystals in a manicure, I think it's really important, obviously, to make sure it's super secure. So you do want to make sure the base of the stone is covered with the top coat. But when you go over the entire stone, you fill in all the cuts of the stone so they don't sparkle as well anymore, and they kind of become bubbles rather than stones. So to keep that element of the sparkle, I try and avoid going directly over the top of the stone.
When you're working with really small stones, what's your advice for, maneuvering them from the plate to the nail?
I always use the cap of my cotton holder to dump all my stones in, so I have kind of a plate. But you can use plates or bowls or whatever you have handy. It makes it easier if you kind of dump them out, depending on what you store them in, to get, a nice choice of stones. And then I used a rhinestone pickup pencil tool to pick the stones up off the plate. And what's great about it is when it gets skunked up from, touching top coat or getting in glue, you just sharpen it with a pencil sharpener. It gives you a fresh, brand new end until you go through the whole pencil, and then you just replace it.
So a lot of techs work in the salon, but you work on set a lot. And if one of the techs has an opportunity to do that, what are your tips for working on set?
Be very prepared. The most important things in my kit is something to sit on, a table if I need it, so I use a TV tray table, and always, always, always take a light with you, because I cannot tell you how many times I have been completely in the dark, under a table, in a bathroom, on a bus, you name it. I am somewhere where there is no light, so making sure that you have a way to properly see is really important.
What's your craziest story about being on set, the most challenging situation you've been faced with?
They range from so many different things to really intricate types of art to she came off set one time and she told the director she was going to change her jacket, and she decided she wanted a whole entire new set of orange nails. So I had 5 minutes to make these nails in nail polish and trying to blow them dry and get them dry enough so I could press them on. So it's really kind of anything goes. You just have to be ready no matter what it is.
Well, I will say today you came in and we had sort of a general idea, and we sort of left it up to you to come up with the idea that ended up being on page, which was fantastic. How do you come up with those ideas so quickly?
A lot of it is dependent on what's happening in the shoot. So what kind of colors are happening? If there's jewelry, is the nail the most important part? Is it the accent of the nail that's going to be featured. So it's finding out what the look is going to be, and then the colors actually help choose designs for me too, because you kind of envision what you see those colors looking like and how they will work together and what kind of designs would be flattering for those shades.
Well, the nails today came out beautiful. I love the contrast of the really rich brown against the really sparkly gold, and then the little square charms are really great. And the fact that you were able to use them in two different ways, as a diamond and as a square, makes them even more interesting. So thank you so much for coming in. We had a great time.
Thank you so much.